Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Paul Show. Today, we're going to be doing a breakdown of Fox News' webpage just to look for clickbait and kind of be analytical and critical of what we see. I spent a very brief period of time training in to be a journalist, and I also want to let you guys know that one of the things that they teach you when you're training in to be a journalist is to paint a picture. I don't necessarily agree with painting a picture, but the facts can be relatively boring, so what they do is they enhance the facts, and that can be very dangerous when we are in a volatile time period such as now. Let's get started on the breakdown of Fox News' webpage and see what types of clickbait material we can find. So here we are on Fox News' webpage, and I'm going to go through the page and just kind of go over the titles and see which ones are the most clickbaity and how dangerous they are. Starting off, it looks like we have a major break in an article where police announce huge development in desperate search for teenage couple who vanished in the big city. I'm not going to say that that is clickbait, but it definitely seems like it could be if there isn't that big of a break in the case. But I hope there is for the sake of those two teenagers. Scrolling down a ways, we have the Christian gang sign. Atheist group declares war on wreaths laid on veterans' graves. This definitely sounds like clickbait to me, but I did check out the article, and there is a group of people that are complaining and doing so in a manner that seems a bit aggressive about the wreaths that are being laid on the gravestones. However, I can understand some level of being angry at this because if you are not a Christian and you do not celebrate Christmas, then why are wreaths being laid on your gravestone? Not all soldiers are Christians, so is it clickbait? Yes, but is it at least somewhat authentic clickbait? Yeah, I would agree with it. Then from hero to zero, exactly why they did that title there is because it's, from zero to hero usually, but it's Andrew Cuomo, the former governor of New York. And it says, disgraced former governor ordered to write out eye-popping check to his state. And it is something in the ballpark of like $5 million. But how are these politicians getting so rich in the first place? Oh yeah, he has a lot of book deals. But I mean, yeah, it's clickbait, but the Fox News knows that uh, the conservative base really doesn't like Andrew Cuomo, so they're going to put out as much information about him as possible because conservatives are more likely to click on this. Scrolling down some more, we have paying the price. FBI officials had sex with prostitutes, and it gets worse. Bombshell report says. Probably not clickbait. It is an alphabet organization, so it most likely isn't clickbait. We Are Alive. Watch survivors recall gut-wrenching moments before after catastrophe hit. And that is about the tornado that hit in Kentucky, which is incredibly sad, and it is devastating. It's a massive amount of damage that affected these communities. And last time I checked the news on that, there was somewhere around 80 people that had passed away from that tornado, and that is just horrifically bad. Going down a little bit farther, we have Oxford High School shooting. Prosecutor gives update. That's not clickbait at all. Good job. Good job, Fox. That one right there, there is absolutely no clickbait. The image isn't clickbait or anything. Uh, Next up in politics, we have Democrats take a big step toward burying Americans in more debt. What to know? However, this one is clickbait. I'm going to just say it because both Republicans and Democrats like to overspend when it comes to our budget. So it's 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 a lose-lose for the American people. And the fact that Democrats are wanting to spend this money on infrastructure, like, is it a lot of money? Is it absurd? Absolutely. But conservatives and the Republicans, I don't even like calling the modern Republican Party conservative anymore because of their tendency to spend and spend and spend on all different types of things. And we have to remember that, especially when it comes to this different infrastructure bills and all of these other types of things, that there are people that switch sides. It's not just Democrats. So here, this is a sign of clickbait and of political leaning, right? Like, so pretty strong political leaning. Uh, Suspected Michigan school shooter Ethan Crumbley's parents appear in court for probable cause hearing. Yeah, so there they are, and if you don't know this, they are charging the parents for, or in at least in some level of participation of this school shooting. Um, I don't know enough to make any comments on it, but it will be very interesting to see the case and how it all unfolds. top Dem breaks silence on if he supports non-citizens voting. So this is really interesting. I had refreshed the page, and this part right here actually had said that he supports non-citizens voting, which is really interesting and a little bit concerning. Um, if that is not a clickbait article, then we probably have a lot of problems, which we already do, and you guys already know that. But the breakdown here, right? So like, eh, so illegal immigrant, or not illegal immigrants, but yeah, illegal immigrants and immigrants of any stature, unless they are legal citizens, right? They cannot vote in our federal elections. So that's the big thing there. If it's talking about local elections, then I don't know. We'll see what's going on. The WHO director issues dire warning on how fast. I'm not going to say it because I'm pretty sure YouTube will freak out if I said that. How it is spreading. There, I mean, there's just a lot of clickbait around it. So I'm not going to say whether or not that is clickbait, but a lot of. It's really hard to get solid information on that topic. Chicago rooftop revelations. Oh yeah, used to race to divide us. Southside pastor says, okay, yeah, that's not clickbait, but yeah. China goes after America with strange music video. China, this is just like surface level of whatever China is doing towards us. Like this is what they are wanting us to know, especially when it comes to YouTube content. There is a ton of Chinese propaganda on YouTube, which is very, very concerning, and I'm really surprised that our Congress hasn't went after YouTube with the level of propaganda that is being found on this site, right? Uh, Photo shows sister sheltered in safe space minutes before deadly twister. So here they're painting that picture. They're making it more human. They are wanting you to feel the terror or the devastation and like the emotional impact of that tornado in Kentucky. Which I mean, rightfully so. It's in our human nature to feel some level of empathy. But the job of the journalist is to really make this personal, right? So the sister sheltered in safe space minutes before deadly twister. So statistically, you probably have a sister. So I'm gonna say that. I'm going to really emphasize it. Who I would assume that this is an actual picture of these children too, but who knows? Uh, Elementary school in Dem City under fire for planning families of color playground night. Uh, well, I mean, there's definitely a possibility that this is the case because of the world that we live in today. I'm not going to say whether this is clickbait or not. Police officer fighting for life after being shot multiple times. Suspect in custody, department says. Not a clickbait article. I hope that this police officer recovers safely and is back home if he has family, that he's back home safe with his family. Would-be burglar picks wrong house. Armed homeowner makes sure he stays put until cops home. So one of the only reasons most likely that this is even making it on Fox News is because of its conservative viewership, right? Otherwise, this would be a nothing burger because think about how many burglaries and self-defense cases there are in the United States. There are tons and tons, and you don't see Fox News always making that move to put this up on their website, right? So here they are just trying to find a filler article to bring about more, like, they know that their base will click on it. Uh, More Americans left religion during the pandemic. Uh, so one thing I would like to quote when it comes to any type of statistic when it comes to this is that there are lies, damn lies, and statistics, to quote Mark Twain. So always be skeptical of your statistics, right? You can always manipulate them and make them tell your own story. They are about as manipulated as the news themselves, unless you can actually do the math yourself and or at least see the holes in their statistics. Usually it has to do with sample sizes and them not taking proper sample sizes. So I won't bore you too much with the math behind it. Uh, Loser's gonna lose. Fox News outdraws CNN, MSNBC combined for the 17th straight week. Probably no clickbait there because we all know that the corporate media organizations are all tumbling except for, and even Fox News is tumbling. Like I guess that is like the clickbait stuff. So yeah, relative to CNN, MSNBC, Combined, Fox News is incredibly strong, but in comparison to somebody like Joe Rogan, these outlets here, these media outlets, are not as giant as any of Joe Rogan's podcasts, right? So this is just like second place, telling third and fourth place that he's beating them. But in first place, there are a lot of independent media organizations that are found on the internet and here on YouTube, that are beating all of these organizations. So it's been more than 8 years since EF5 tornado last struck the U.S., the longest span on record. Yeah, I believe this was a tornado down in Oklahoma. But yeah, I mean, it is still clickbait when you look at the picture, right? So they are wanting to get that emotional response of the devastation. So they're going to show the absolute worst case scenario of where the tornado hits, right? That's kind of their job as a journalist, is to show the worst. And the same goes for, I mean, they actually didn't have any articles about the crime rates in cities, but I know that they're making that a very big, a very big deal on on Fox News Live, right? That the crime rates in all of these cities are absolutely horrific, and the cities are doing nothing for the people in the cities. And to some extent, sure, are there some fabrics of truth inside of these statements? Yes, but they are painting the picture the worst possible way, right? So there are still nice neighborhoods in these cities. There are still really beautiful places to go and hang out. However, there is an increase in crime. If you just look at the statistics, right? So with the statistics, that hopefully there's not too much manipulation going on, that there is an increase in crime, right? Back a couple of years ago, I was looking at the crime rate of New Orleans, and the crime rate of New Orleans was worse than Bogota, Colombia. So technically, it was more dangerous for you to go to New Orleans than it is to go to Bogota, Colombia, which that is concerning, and it should be concerning to all of the citizens of the United States, that we have a city here, and many cities actually, in fact, that are more dangerous than cities in South America. It goes to show you that times are changing inside of our country, and I do have to agree with some of the narrative that overall the consensus is that it is more dangerous inside of our country. I don't think it has as much to do with politics as what people are saying, and I think it has to do more so with just the fabric of our society and our civilization. I mean, on average, civilizations last 250 years, and we are really, really, really just pushing the edge of all different types of things. So, all right, so massive fish spotted, basking in California sun. Always fun to witness one of these interesting creatures. I mean, what an odd article to end it off of. But, I mean, when you go down, you got Britney Spears, what happened to SNL comic. I mean, yeah, so it's pretty standard, not too bad as far as clickbait. But I guarantee you that there's a high level of painting narratives on Fox News's webpage. And I just wanted to go through all of these and just kind of see what I can show you guys. If you guys want to do another one of these, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will make this into a multiple part series where we will go through Fox like I just did. I'll go through CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, and we will just kind of discuss what the level of not lying, yeah, lying, painting pictures there is, right? So otherwise, I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Give me that thumbs up, subscribe if you want more content like this, and I will talk to you guys later.